Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you another video. All right, so some rare Laker news, something small, but something worth talking about. Quincy Olivari was just signed to a Exhibit A, I believe is what they call the type of contract. Contract with the Lakers. He played for Xavier last year, undrafted rookie. Didn't really average good shooting percentages and stuff like that in the summer league. Under 27% from both the field and the three. But I remember calling his name out a couple times, especially I think in the last game of the preseason. The summer league, where he really showed some good things, some really good things. Hit the three ball pretty well, played some good defense. Just a player that really stood out in the end. So he had his ups and downs, but I thought that he ended on a high note. And I remember calling his name out saying, I wanted to see more of this guy in the last two games. I believe that was the player I said that about. For me, this is not a small deal because we want to bring in guys who can help us. 23-year-old rookie, so he should be able to come in and kind of fill in some of that roster performances and, the backup roles is what I'm trying to say, and kind of provide some garbage time minutes at times. Play well for the G League opportunities given to him as well. So I think Quincy's proven that he should be given an opportunity with at least to try to make the squad. That's what I say, There were a couple guys there that I thought should be given some opportunities. I hope this isn't the last Exhibit A contract that we see. Because there were definitely some guys, especially that one guy at the end of the season, at the end of the summer league, who really stood out, had all kinds of assists and steals and stuff like that. Just played a really cerebral game. I wish I remembered his name right now. I'd only seen him that one time because he didn't play him, but all in all, I think the Lakers have shown that they have a good eye for talent. We would have loved for our summer league team to have started off better, playing well in the California Classic would have made a huge difference in hopefully winning a championship, but it didn't happen. But they did end the summer league on a 4-game winning streak, and that was a lot to appreciate. I just feel like there needs to be more games in the summer league for teams to kind of get used to playing with one another and get more out of guys, get more experience for guys, get more running time for guys. So, all in all, I just felt like the Lakers were kind of at the mercy of a short schedule. But all in all, it's a good team that we had there in the end. Didn't start off well, but once they start to know one another, you start seeing some good things, and it led to some success for the squad. So, Quincy Olivari is going to be a part of the squad. Welcome to it. We look forward to seeing your development, and hopefully it goes well for him. Hopefully it goes really well for him. So, I haven't seen the interview that he did with Trevor Lane. I believe he was the one that sat down with Trevor Lane a few days ago. I have yet to see that interview, but I heard good things about it. So now I'm definitely interested in seeing it and kind of getting to know the player. This is what the Lakers need to do at the end of the day. Find guys out of nowhere and turn them into hot commodities on the market. Turn them in, get something out of nothing. We're not the only team that needs to do that too. Several teams out there, like the Suns and the Timberwolves, who need to be able to find pieces like Quincy Olivari and turn them into legitimate role players with value in this league. And you don't know who a guy is until you give him opportunities to really showcase himself, develop him, get him in there with the coaches, give him a role, and then you can really be the guy as it pertains to your team, finding something that everybody wants. You know what I mean? And so that you're only going to do that if you give guys opportunities. And I think the Lakers are in the business of trying to do that. Now, what this means for the rest of our two-way contracts, or how this fits in regards to us not having a roster spot, I'm just not sure. I don't know. But it's obvious that we're able to sign him to this contract. So he should, in theory, at least be able to play some with the big team. And probably the majority of his time will be with the G League. But that development is necessary and helpful. And I think when you really look at it, it's probably better for some guys to be in the G League than in the big squad and just sitting on the bench for like half of the season. They're waiting for the team to either be up by 30 or down by 30 so they can get some minutes. If I were a professional basketball player, in theory, it's probably better to be in the G League getting minutes. On the floor, with a role, with a team, getting a chance to get your shots up, getting your reps in, learning the development steps necessary to become the best pro you can be. And I kind of wish some of our guys that we're utilizing this year would have had more time in the G League, like Max Christie. given that he didn't hardly play last year, he needs to develop. And so now we've paid him, and I could argue he probably still isn't really ready for what we're asking him to do, and probably could use some more time in the G League right now. So, that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong about that. I know guys work hard on their craft over the years. A guy like Max Christie been in the league for 4 years, but I just don't think that he's gotten the opportunity to really play meaningful basketball enough for what it is that the Lakers are going to be asking him to do this season. So when you consider that he's not necessarily fully developed, but also is eating now not a big portion, but a portion of the cap with his own player option at the end of his contract, that's probably not the greatest position for the Lakers to necessarily be in when you know you haven't developed the guy properly. So that's really my take on things. We got a couple of projects on our team, so I'm glad Quincy Olivari is a 23-year-old rookie rather than a 19-year-old rookie. But at the end of the day, he's still a rookie, and it's going to be a learning curve for the young man. Try to put himself in the strongest position to help his squad, and I hope that he will get enough development time in the G League to get the confidence that he needs to be a contributor to this team. So don't expect to see much of him this season, but over the next several years, if he develops properly with the squad and it works out, then maybe we can see him play some G League minutes, some back of the bench minutes, and maybe earn his keep from there. But that's the path, man. It's a long path ahead for a lot of these guys. Given the fact that the Lakers are such a prestigious organization, always looking for turnover to try to bring in the next big thing or the next best role player. But if we can find more Austin Reeves and turn a guy like Quincy Olivari into that type of piece, for which we've been known to do, great things can happen from there, man. So I love the idea of getting lucky and finding the next best thing at a discount. That is always what you hope to see. So I'm very curious to see what the Lakers are going to be able to accomplish, given the fact that we have a rookie coach. We just have really no idea what he's going to want to do this upcoming season in regards to rotations, play style, what his vision is for our stars, etc. We just don't know what he's going to do. So when you give that as much credence as necessary, you find yourself in a situation where you don't really know how to assess the team properly. And we've had conversations about that on this channel, where it's like, I really don't know what the Lakers are going to do, to be honest with you. And I think when you bring a new coach into a situation, you find that certain players who may have played a certain way under the previous coach may have an entirely different way of looking on your squad now that you have the new guy. So, not to put anything into the air as an example, but you don't know who's going to play well and who's not under Coach Redick. Who's going to take well to his coaching style, whatever that may be. So, I don't know, man. As somebody who's been on record saying I don't think the Lakers are in the greatest position to be considered one of the best teams in the Western Conference this year, I haven't really seen anything that would make me trying to change my mind on that. But things could teeter in the right direction too, just as easily as they can go bad. So we don't know. It's a lot of question marks, but I would tell all of Laker fans and Laker Nation to keep their expectations fairly low for this upcoming season. And I think acceptance is the best medicine for what you got going on here. And if they happen to overachieve, if they happen to have a bunch of guys play really well, or have some guys have a breakout year, then your expectations are already low, and you can be satisfied with really whatever good happens. So that would be my way of approaching this season. I don't have us being a championship team or even a legitimate playoff team this year. If we make the play-in tournament, I'm happy. That's kind of how I'm approaching it. And yes, I do agree that LeBron James and Anthony Davis are playing some great ball right now. They were amazing in the Olympics, getting gold. They were the best of the best. And we really appreciate their contributions to the Olympic squad. I think that conditioning level, if they can carry that over into the regular season and it doesn't wear them down, it can make for a good start to our team, especially if everything comes together with other players. A guy like Austin Reeves is who I'm hoping to have a bounce-back season. I thought he had a down season shooting the ball, a down season defensively. I thought he had a down season, period. And I thought and do think that this upcoming summer, the summer that we're in right now, would do him some good for whatever it's worth. Working out, getting back to the golf course, just getting past what this last season was about for him. And I think that the Austin Reeves that we saw the first 2 years is probably more indicative of the Austin Reeves we expect to see for many years to come, not necessarily the guy we saw last year. I don't think that was the real Austin Reeves. I think that was Austin Reeves who had just gotten paid and was trying to adjust to that. But one thing about that particular Austin Reeves, he didn't miss a single basketball game. 82 games played. One of the few players this season that pulled that off. So with him having a healthy season, you hate that it went the way that it did, because you never expect a guy to be an Iron Man like that. You know what I mean? If they happen to turn into one, that's amazing. But injuries happen, etc. So for us, for all that went wrong in regards to Austin Reeves having a down year, it certainly wasn't in regards to his availability and his health. And in a year where we had such terrible injury issues, that's something that needs to be considered in regards to Austin Reeves. I put him on more fantasy teams this year than I had in the past because of it. And that's what I did this year. For those who care anything about fantasy basketball, I really dug into consistency and availability this year. I put Austin on a lot of teams. I put Mikal Bridges on a lot of teams. And I just want guys who want to be there every day. That's what it really comes down to. With the NBA having so many injury issues last season, our team particularly, this year I put a lot more stock in the previous couple of years as it pertains to guys showing me that they can stay upright throughout the course of a season. With Mikal Bridges never missing any games, and now being on a team that he's never going to get off the floor in regards to 48 minutes a game is what you can expect Thibodeau to play him in New York. And he's somebody that never misses a game. I mean, I think he's as good as any bet to be having a career year this year when you consider that. And I think that Austin Reeves, if he can play another really healthy season, will probably have very high usage this year. I think JJ Redick, though we don't know anything, I'm willing to bet that he's going to find favor in Austin rather quickly, and Austin's going to have a bigger role in this situation. I think it's a good chance Austin starts. And if he doesn't start, I think it's a damn good chance he gets over 27, 28 minutes a game every night. And so that's what you hope to see, man. Austin was a much better player than I thought we gave him the opportunity to show. And when he was out there in inconsistent roles, it might have catered to some of his slump. I don't think that he and Darvin Ham had the greatest relationship. It was well documented that they were not always on the same page. And I hope that he has a much better relationship with JJ Redick so that we can get the most out of him, who I think is probably, when it's all said and done, probably our third or fourth best player right now. I understand that his defensive liability issues are a real thing. We talked a lot about how he and D'Lo don't necessarily look great next to one another. And now you bring in Dalton Connect, kind of has those same issues. We talked a lot about that. But at the end of the day, when I consider what the Lakers' needs actually are on the offensive end, I think you could probably see where Austin Reeves is going to have a bigger role this year. Facilitating the ball, driving at the rim, ball handling more. May even get some opportunities at the one here and there. I'd like to see him on the floor with LeBron James a lot because they have great synergy and have grown a strong rapport over the last several years. And so any opportunities JJ can put both of them on the floor, I think he should do it. I think he should have them on the floor a lot together. So, I'm of the assumption that the Lakers team that you see right now is a team that we're probably going to have for the majority of the season. I think there's a good chance we'll try to do something at the deadline, but under this collective bargaining agreement, this will be the lowest expectations I have for trade movement across the league in the history of me following the league. I don't expect many trades at all. Now, there could be a lot of demand for movement, but the mitigated goal to actually pull the trigger on moves, I don't anticipate things are going to change in that way than what they've been in this offseason. I think the price tag is going to be high on players to get moved, and I think this collective bargaining agreement makes it very difficult for GMs and owners to really feel confident that whatever move they're making is worth it. And so while there may be a lot of rumors for trades, and I think you may see a big trade this season somewhere. You always do, but the idea that you're going to see a lot of little moves or that you're going to see several big trades, I really don't anticipate that under this collective bargaining agreement. Until they change the apron era we're in and get it back to where there's a little more freedom of movement and less bad consequences for making certain decisions, I really genuinely do not believe that you're going to see a whole lot of movement in the NBA. I really don't. So what you see is what you have, and what you decide is what you'll likely land on for several years. And I hate that for the NBA in some ways, because part of the draw is the excitement of trades. But for the betterment of continuity and getting used to having players get used to one another over years, you're going to have better playing basketball. You're going to have more synergy amongst teams when you don't see as much turnover in the roster. So I think it'll actually turn into being better overall for teams that are complete. For teams that are incomplete, it's going to be you overpaying to complete your basketball squad. You losing trades in the event you're trying to complete your squad. That's just the era we're in, man, until they change it. And I don't know that the tea leaves are telling me that they're on the verge of doing so. I think the owners are happy that they're not spending as much money in this era, and I think that they would love to keep it going. And I don't think there's a whole lot of leverage coming from elsewhere that would convince them to step away from something that they benefit from. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the apron era for a little while, even though I'm praying that is not what it actually becomes. I think there's a better way to do it. We just got to find it personally, but I don't think people are in the business of, like I said, having the leverage to look for better ways when the main characters are pleased with the process and the results. So until they see it not work out for their bottom line, they're going to be fine with hampering all of us with these aprons, man. That's what I think. I hate it so much, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, continuity is going to be fun. You're going to see fan bases fall in love with more players because guys are going to be less likely to be traded rather. And I think that's a good thing. The relationship between player and fan and players and one another, I think, becomes stronger when restrictions are in place. When you know you're not going to be traded next week, you got to patch it up with a dude. You're not going to be traded. He's not moving. So if you got a problem with a guy, you patch it up. And in situations in life, that tends to make you stronger when you realize you can overcome adversity amongst one another. You grow a stronger synergy. I expect teams to be backing each other up even more in that way. I think that's what this can trickle down to potentially. More fights amongst, not infighting, but against other teams. You hit my dude, I'm coming at you, because guys know each other better, because less likely guys get traded. So stuff like that. You never really know the effects of certain things like this, but I do think there are some very positive things that can come from the restrictions of not seeing as many trades in the NBA, man. I think there could be some good things. So, yeah, man, we talk about it. Throw it out there. All these ideas about your best favorite player going to be in your uniform, not unless you have a bunch of picks to throw at the other team. It's not happening. Steph Curry, LeBron, that's not happening. KD going back to Golden State, I don't think so, man. All that type of stuff is not real. Teams are kind of stuck at this point with what they have, unless they just want to take some chances that everybody else isn't willing to take. And the risk is in a lot of cases not really worth it for a lot of these owners. That's what it comes down to. The risk ain't gonna be worth it to them. So, yeah, man, I hope you love your team. Me personally, I think my team could use a big man. But aside from that, I think another point guard would help. But if we also have a guy we need to develop at the point guard position, in Jalen Hood-Schifino. I don't love him. Everybody knows I didn't love him even when he was healthy and before the bad rookie season. I wasn't in love with his piece, but he can do some good things if he develops into what it is we drafted him to be. That is going to be incumbent upon our new coaching staff to start him off on that process, and the Lakers putting him in the G League and him doing the work, which I think he'll be up for. I like the kid's demeanor, so if anybody can overcome a bad rookie season and still make something of their career, I think it's somebody with the demeanor of a Jalen Hood-Schifino, a young guy with a mature spirit about him. So I think that is going to be a good thing when trying to ask him to overcome certain adversity that he ran into early in his career as a rookie. So, yeah, that's what I hope for, good health for that young man, because I think everybody's down on him, and I think they have a lot of evidence for why they can lean that way, but I think there's also a lot of evidence in other cases where players start off with bad seasons in their rookie season and then still get off to fantastic careers, or even good careers if not fantastic. So yeah, man, he's somebody I'm circling as somebody I want to see get some real minutes, whether he's good or bad this year. I want to see Jalen get some good minutes, and hopefully with the minutes given, he can really show people why he was drafted so high, and maybe make some people forget that the Lakers passed on some really fantastic opportunities to get him, because we know we left some good players on the board in regards to that particular draft pick. So that's why it's important that we develop Jalen, because we really left some great guys out there. Yeah, man, that's pretty much my thoughts on things, man. It's not really a whole lot to talk about in regards to the Lakers. We know the team is going to be starting up soon. We got the schedule for the NBA Cup, Emirates NBA Cup, which was last year called the in-season tournament. I'm glad they changed the name officially to NBA Cup. And, you know, we'll break that down later on. I don't have it in my head who all we have on our team. I think it's San Antonio, OKC, Utah, Phoenix, and us. I believe that's how that goes. And we start off playing San Antonio, I think on like the 11th of November or something like that. Don't quote me on it. I'm just going off by memory. But we also know who we play on opening night. We play the Minnesota Timberwolves here in Los Angeles. I don't remember exactly what date that is, sometime at the end of October. And we also have our Christmas Day game settled and squared away. But I legitimately have forgotten who we play. I don't remember who we played. And that's a bad thing, in the sense that it wasn't such an amazing matchup that it was easy to forget. That's the reality of it. I think did we play Golden State on Christmas Day or something like that? I don't remember, but it seemed to me that the matchup wasn't so incredibly amazing. And I thought that the NBA may have dropped the ball on that. But I honestly don't remember who it was, and I think that's the problem. If it would have been Denver, I wouldn't have forgotten it. If it would have been Boston, I wouldn't have forgotten it. But I think we're playing somebody that we could probably afford to not see on Christmas Day, to be honest with you. I think it's like Golden State. And we love what we saw from Steph Curry, but his team is not extremely exciting this upcoming season. It's just not. Unless they make some moves that I don't see them making. So, dare I say that probably shouldn't be the game? Probably should not be. But it is what it is, man. We'll see what the Lakers do this upcoming season. Hopefully we get off to a good start with our two stars already being in game shape. And guys hopefully having a healthy offseason to heal from really what was a bad year last year for our overall franchise, man. And hopefully we don't run into Denver in the first round again if we make the playoffs. BDL 44. I thank y'all for watching.